So, what gives you confidence about the first, maybe Moldova's economic future, despite all the uncertainties on a regional and global level, and maybe also what gives you confidence about the economic future of EU? Because not just Moldova is challenged by a lot of regional uncertainties.
But also Europe.
I think also Europe as a whole is currently challenged, and you seem to be determined to join the Euro bloc.
So I'm quite positive about Moldova for a couple of reasons. So as I mentioned, indeed, it has a golden star, and which aligned all the stakeholders, all the players in the country and outside on the same direction. And that's important. That's really important. It's really open, dynamic society. So it's society which is changing rapidly. You can really have impact, not in 10 years, not in 5 years, but I'm not joking, literally in a couple of months. And that's quite unique. And that's, by the way, there are a lot of, that's one of the advantages of being a smaller economy. Small steps can have a huge impact. You are agile, you are nimble, you can change quickly, you can react quickly, you can learn, you can implement things in a nimble way. So that allows me to believe that Moldova is nimble enough, open enough, flexible enough to be able to adjust on different currents and use them for its purpose, for its own benefits. We have a huge diaspora outside, which I strongly believe step by step will look more and more in Moldova. Some time ago, I read, I think, a World Bank or something made research. So it's very interesting. So they look on all the countries and evolution of the way people go back or forth. And they found that if countries very poor, usually people do not have a tendency to go out because they don't have enough means. If somewhere between, people heavily move away because better opportunity somewhere else. But at some point of time, there's a point where people start coming back because realize, I can also live well back at in my home country. I can also contribute and make impact there, even much quicker than if I would be somewhere else. We're not there yet, but I think we're coming close and close to that point where people, Moldavians, will start thinking, look, if I want to live well, have a nice car, go for holidays, have my family nearby, my kids, my parents, I don't need to be thousands or hundreds of kilometers far away. I can be back home. So I think that's also upcoming. And that's also a huge potential of the country. Again, over 1 million people living abroad. It's like a huge, it's 1/3, I would say, or close to it. That kind of gives me feeling and trust and belief that the future is strong and good in Moldova. It's a place to be. And again, Delta matters, the impact. Now about EU. So I think from economic point of view, EU is a huge market. Again, it's 450 millions. Yes, we are different countries, different cultures, but by the way, that's also can be advantage because also in the strategy, as we know, like when you have a team of the same people, of the same culture, way of thinking and so on, the outcome is not as strong, as good, as if you had people with different backgrounds. Sometimes, not long ago, I was reading an article about leveraging AI, agentic AI. So in banking, somewhere in Europe, for underwriting, they replace, let's say 10 people with AI. And I put a manager of AI to guide and give feedback to this algorithm to make a decision. And what they found out, that the quality of decision time went down. Why? Because AI was just learning from that one person, and what person is by design is biased. I mean, I'm biased as well. I mean, we have some own biases. So you just scale up that person 10, hundreds times. While if you have a couple of people on the same table, you have different views and you have debates and you take better decision. So the same is here. That's also advantage of Europe. We are different, and in difference, as long as we make it thoughtful how we navigate that difference, it's something which is very, very, very powerful. Now, I think where you should focus at the same time Moldova, by the way, it's how to integrate further our markets. Because the power comes from unity and having one market, let's say one capital market, one banking market, So if I want to get access to the capital, I don't need to go to 10 markets, but I can go to one unified market. So even further integrating further this kind of the financial sector, capital markets, it could or should make a big difference. Because look, how many startups we have in Europe? I think many. But many of them, for raising funds, go to somewhere else, let's say 2 years, because there are deeper capital markets. If they want to scale up, they go there because you have smaller market, by the way, 350 million or something around. So Europe is bigger. But in Europe, you have many regulators. They have, let's say, one, okay, there is a different state, but okay. So how to make it easier for bright ideas to be tested here and grown very quickly, scale it up on such a huge market. So we can really become a hub of the kind of the big corporations. I think there are things we need to do as Europe a lot. We need to be more aligned. Europe is very strong and waking up when there is a crisis. And I think that's quite human, by the way. When the life is good, you relax, you take longer coffee breaks and so on. But when you have challenges, you are much more prone, you're much more you are listening to yourself, you see you're in the change mode, you're in the improvement mode. So I think that's where Europe is started going through last, I would say, years, for sure, after 2022, it's woken up. And it's in the journey, find the way how to become even stronger.
Raiffeisen Bank International. Make it happen.